Hello friends, today we are going to see the simple WPF MVVM application with unit testing. How to perform unit test on WPF application. See in that, in a part 1, we will see the simple addition of two numbers using WPF MVVM pattern, and in part 2 unit testing for same application. Okay, so let's see. Now start here. Just take a new project. The C# WPF application. Let's the name as addition of number. Okay, enter. It will load your main window.xaml file. So this is the final window.xaml file. Just now here we are going to perform the operation, that is the addition of two numbers, and afterward we will do the unit testing on the same application. So let's start. For that, first we will go for the grid dot column definition. Okay, then in that we will add the columns and the rows so that our UI looks like easier to read. Okay, so we add at least two columns here. Here again column definition. Let's width as mark as a star to the completion. Say maybe two columns. Same will go for the rows. Grid dot row definition. Inside row definition, width okay, row height, width for the column and the height for the row. Same, just copy paste. So okay, UI. So label here front end, enter the first name. Okay, let's make this and see how it looks like. Dynamic as a looks better. Then alignment, make it right. Then text box, name. Here is the suppose first number, text number, width for your text box. Suppose here 60. Now you need to mention where to initialize this label and text. So here grid dot suppose we use column first, column initially 0th column, next grid dot row, this is your 0th row. Okay, so now your label is here. Okay, now the text, here is the text box. Text box, then write down the location where to place this. So column number is 1 because we want in front of this. See, for better understanding I make it as a color. See, background color red. Always do this, it's a good practice. See, grid dot column 1. Now column position, text box position is here. Dot column to mention row also, it's 0th row. Okay, space is there. Okay, so this is your name and enter the first number, it's a number. Enter the first number. This is your text box. Now mention the width for your text box. Keep it as a 20. Width is suppose 60 is there, and go for the height. Suppose height is 20. Let's see, 20 is too small, so 40. Here I make it as a 100. Okay, then horizontal. Make it left. So this is your first. Enter the first number, and here which number you are going to enter. Here is the acceptable text box. Okay, now let's design this in a proper way. So for that, simply just write the exact your margin see here the disturb UI is here. See, enter the first name. I just zoom it as a suppose 200%. See, enter the first number, and this is your text box. So we need this in a same line. See, already both are in the same row. So for that, here instead of using star, make it as a auto. So whatever the size height required by the given row, it will take as a automatically. Okay, let's see. We just remove this margin. Okay, got it. Now the height, suppose like 20. Okay, now same we will do for the second text box. And the label, for saving time, I just copy and paste, make it as a one more enter. See, column number 1 is as it is. Now say I just copy paste this here, column 0 as it is. Now row number 1. Okay, now here column 0 as it is. Sorry, here column 1 and row 1. Let's see, name, first, second number. So you see here, enter the first number, enter the first number, enter the here second number. You just remove the background color. Here is it. Remove it and remove this. Okay, now first number, second number. Here we are going to place it 2 buttons. So button name, here date. See, actually before writing name and your rest of the contents, first provide the position where you are going to place this button. So column 0. Now grid dot row. Here 0 means this one column and row 0, 1, 2. So second number. Okay. Grid for the given button support 60. Okay, so here 60 is enough for us. And height 650, that's cubic, so 30. Yeah, now okay. But we want this button at the middle of this here UI. But at the we have a 2 column, so we need this at middle line. So here alignment, horizontal alignment, make it as a left. So will we go for the left side, so right. Okay, now okay, write down the contents of the button. What is the name? Cancel. Here is the button. Now while we are designing any application, then you should remember, see, the scenario will always go from left to right. So right is the forward technique. So here button contains name, cancel. and on the right side we will use submit button, submit or add. Column number 0 instead of 0, now we want to place it at first column. Row number 2 as it is. Now button name is suppose add. Okay, now the alignment is left. Done. So this is your UI. For the simple addition of two numbers. Okay, now afterward we are going to bind the command so that after clicking on cancel or the submit here, cancel or add, it will be perform operation. Now after performing operation we require one more text box to show the result. So let's here, as we already take 1 2 3 4 rows and we have used here 0 1 2, so I place one more here, it is enter, then copy, just separate out by using one extra enter so that it will be easily understandable to use. Here write it as a result. Here column number 0, okay. Now row number is 2, result right. 0 1 2. Now here text block, column number is 1, okay. Now row number is 2, so no need to provide name to the text box. We are going to bind contains, so here name is not required for the text box, but label it's mandatory. So here column number 1 and here is the overwrite happened, so we will shift this cancel and add button on the next row. So here row number 3, okay. Now here is also row number is 3, okay, done. So here is the result done. Now this is your UI is ready. So we'll go next for you in a solution, as we are going to design the same application in a MVVM pattern. So new MVVM means first model, then add one more, I just copy paste and rename as a, here is the view and here is the view model. Okay, now let's add new class. In that we will define the entities, properties. We provide name to the given class. Suppose the addition of numbers, add, okay, make it as a public. Here write down the properties, so then press 2 times tab, okay. Private integer, suppose here is the num1 and number 1, ठीक है. This is your first number. Now do for prop full properties, Now 2, here is num 2. Now next again we require one more variable to store the result. Add result. Now here add result. Okay, let's finish. Now these are the properties we define, and same property we'll use to perform the operation. But for the notification purpose we need to use iNotify property here, so that it will be notified whenever the user enters data to the UI via the view model. The notify property will notify to the model and will perform operation on your view model. So let's write down. We can write here notify property directly also, but for the separation concern, for the clean code, we will write separate class and inherit this class into your model, and provide the and call to the notify property change method, so that it will be notified the changes made by the user. Let's name as a property change notification notify. See, we add this class. Okay, now make it as a public. Here write down iNotify property change class using system.model. See, iNotify property change, then go for implement interface. In this way we implement the interface, and afterwards write down one method will be notify from the UI notify property change, then string, here is the property name, okay. Now if property change, see this one, if property change is not equals to null, then you need to perform the property change here, and this comma, then property change event argument, property change event argument, okay, and pass the property name. Here we missing new operator. Okay, here the here we pass the property name. Done. So just inherit this class into your addition of number model class. Here always use the name as a model. Now here property change, and the property name is num1. Sorry, the class name is here. We are inheriting using new model. Finish. Now let's notify property change. Our method name is notify property change, so use here notify property change num1 double quote. Okay, just copy paste for the rest of the code, and here none 2, and here your add result. Okay, now the work of model is finished. The property change is finished. So let's come into the view model. Let's add one more class. In the view model, see, the application is too small, that's why I'm adding all these 3 classes here. The property change, then afterward the view model, this one container logic, and the next one is the command, for the command binding logic. We also write one more class is here, but for the big application we will separate out this. We'll make one more folder as a command and a command binding or the iCommand interface, and in that we will write the same class, that is the command and notify property change will be the separate out. But here the application is small, that's why I'm writing here inside a view model. Now here I am going to add one more class. The class name, let's suppose the calculations, or the simple one, we are adding 2 number only, so addition view model. Here is the addition view model. Now make it public. Here we are initializing your view model into your view model. So let's private. Your model name is addition of number. Suppose I make it as addition of number here. There is an instance, so addition of numbers. It will ask him the reference, so use a model. Yeah. Now initialize the same into your constructor of view model. So your constructor is public, view model name is addition of view model. In that we will initialize your object addition number is a type, so use like a variable. Okay, now ready. It is showing the addition number is a type, but use like a variable. Yes. So we need to initialize here addition also for the get set property, so that it will be accept the input and do the operation. We inform to the model via the view model. So let's do it. Suppose here public now make make it as a property. So to return what we use underscore addition and set the value set underscore addition is equal to value and same modify to the here model add the reference. Yes, we need to inherit this modify property change class to here. What is the name of that class? Is the property change modification. So we'll inherit this class is here. Let's see what happens. Yes, error is found. Yeah. Now until now is okay. Until now is the basic things. We just create the one model. In the model we define your properties, that is the number 1, number 2 and the result, which we are going to save the result of these two numbers. Now second, we define one more class which will handle the property change notifications. Now we define one more class, that is the ViewModel. This is your main class. In a ViewModel we just initialize your model class with the getSet property. Now until now we are doing nothing. Now next, for this UI you need to bind this text box 1, text box 2 with your object of model class, so that the all input will be handled by the ViewModel. Via the ViewModel we can do all the things, but for command binding, here add and cancel, we need to write one more class to handle the command. We can directly write here also in a ViewModel, but for the separation concern we'll go for the one more class, name it as a relay method. Okay, relay command, add it. Now also make it as a public. Okay, for the command binding, here we need to use I command interface, which will be available using system.window.input. Now again it asks to implement the interface, so it will be implemented automatically. You can go directly with this also, or you can modify as per your requirement. See, I'm not wasting much more time. This is the basic thing. So I have common logic, I just paste it here. I just cut out video here and okay. Now let's go for our main part. Here for the binding, for this command binding, clear? For this command binding we will write one command here, private command. Okay, I command, name the command as a, suppose add command, semicolon, we need one more command, private, for the cancel, I command, suppose underscore cancel command, copy and let's go for the implementation. Right now I'm not requiring this here. So the command is here. Now we have the get and set property is command is equals to now when we perform the operation like I command is equals to new relay command. In that we'll use one variable param equals to here write down the action method this dot. Right now we are not writing any, we are predefine any method, so we name it as a add number, add number addition of number, add number, and providing parameter that is your model class name. The model class name is your addition of number. Now comma and semicolon. So this is your get statement, always required. Return statement, without return the statement is incomplete. See, now error is, why the error? Let's see here. Error public command because underscore is not here. So add number. Now return is here. Now this error is here. Add is provide the method to the private method, private integer, add here addition of number. This is the name, here is the object for the better understanding. We'll go for the name as a object, name as object. Yeah. Now addition of numbers dot add result is equals to here object dot number plus object dot number, and now return addition of number here add result. So in this way we write a single command, that is the addition of numbers. Now this is the single command. Now do the same thing for your cancel command. Say we will go later one for the cancel command. First we'll go to bind this view model to your view. So here after local in XML there is XAML namespace. Here I name it as a view model. View model is equals to, and here just add the view model. So this is your view model, application name dot view model. Now add it. After that below this field we'll add the resources, window dot resource. Here we initialize the dictionary view model as now. Here property change in a view model folder, whatever the class are available show here addition view model and property change notify. See, this is the notification. It's not required here. It will be handled by internally. So we require only addition view model. So click here. Now we need to provide a key to bind this with your grid key. The name is suppose view model, and let's finish this. Now this key contains the view model data, whatever view model class have. So let's bind this with your grid. In a grid, whatever data or whatever properties of model class, we can access it via the view model. So you just write here, suppose mention the background. Suppose my background color is always blue. Now space, provide width, instead of width, if it is dynamically, will provide margin. So the single margin, if you go for the 20, then for all sides, whatever it is here, okay. See, after binding, let's try to build this. Let's see what happens. So data context is the main thing. Data context, then in that go for the binding as the view model is the static. So binding source, we need to use your source inside that the static resources, and provide a key. Our key is here, view model. So view model, let's save it. Let's try to build. See, one succeeded. Okay, now see here, your view is also visible. See, this is the color change. Okay, I use dark color. So it will be visible to your eye. So this is your grid. Now this is your UI. See here, data context, we are binding this view model via this dictionary to using these resources to your grid. Now let's bind here. Here is your text box. So after that, I will just bind this first number, that is the number 1, to your text box 1. Now number 2 to the text box 2, and the result to the text. So here, okay, text is equals to binding. See here, add command, addition, all the elements are here. So addition of numbers dot number. Okay. Binding addition of numbers dot number. Is suppose the mode, you can write down the mode 1 way, 2 way, 1 way to source. Here I will use the 1 way. Now update source trigger is property change. Okay. Do same thing for your second number, label 2. Here I paste it, just instead of num1 I use here num 2 and same, sorry, here and same now 2 and here is your result. Result. Let's see what happens, but we are not binding command to the button, so here is the add button. Okay, so in the add button we need to write a command in that binding space and show the command add. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, here suppose the number is 2, here suppose the number is 5, click on the add, the addition is 7. Now currently we are not binding any command to the cancel, so nothing happened with the cancel. Here add is there. Okay, so let's go for the cancel. So I'll run one more time. But you will see the output. Here is 5, 6 and here 11 is here. Okay, now we are not binding any cancel, any command to the cancel, so nothing is happened. But add, suppose I change here 6 plus 6 is 12, the addition is 12. Let's do the binding for addition. So here is your view model. Here cancel command. We need to do the second part also, so I just copy and paste this. So this over time cancel, so video will not be more lengthy. Here just use the cancel. Make one more method. Cancel operation. Then and just write a method for the value. We need to return something, so cancel. Okay, just make all the things dot num1 is equal to 0. And here is the addition. Add to that. Okay, let's see. So what happens? Add result 35, cancel. So nothing happened. Why? We are not bind this cancel command to the cancel button, so this is our mistake. So let's go. This is the cancel command name is cancel command. Let's copy this. Where is the name? Here cancel button. This is a command. Now binding cancel. Okay, let's try answer is 13. Cancel, all are 0. Okay, in this way we will make the simple WPF application in a MVVM pattern, addition of two numbers. See the solution explorer. So, see model class contain the entities on which you are going to perform the operation. Now view, okay, view, see always the your UI is in the view. Okay, now I move this but need to modify the starting URL. So here view object. So view contain the main window or your all XAML files, and in a view model contain your business logic. Here we perform the addition. So as I create a class addition, in a bigger applications we will write one more folders, differentiate this folders in these classes into a different folder like a relay command. So in a command class, and property change notification also we are bifurcate into a different class. Okay, into a different folder. We can make one more folder here, I command also, and in that we will put this relay command, then folder as a notify, I notify, and put this property change class into that folder. Okay, so in this way part first is finished. So if you have any doubt regarding this, then feel free to contact me. Let's start the second part, that is your unit testing.